Is Geert Wilders going to apologize to everyone he has called names or has harmed in any other way? Is Ronald Plasterk, the scout, also going to be the informateur? And can we say already something about the way these parties are willing to cooperate with each other, forming a coalition? Hi, my name is Phil. I live in the Netherlands, and since the elections, I am vlogging about it. The reason for that is that I'm curious about how this is going to develop. And in the meantime, I can inform you as well. It used to be the king or the queen who, after talking to the parties, would appoint an informateur. Now it is the responsibility of the second chamber. So there was a debate today. The parties have been telling what their ideas are and how they see what they are going to do in the next 4 years. The same, of course, goes for Geert Wilders. And when people could ask him questions, they ask the same question over and over again. Because people can't imagine that somebody can just change overnight. And he doesn't give anything for people to have trust in him as a prime minister. They asked him if he was going to apologize to journalists, to Muslims, to female journalists for a remark he has made quite a few times, whether he was going to throw away his pin, of which he was so proud 5 years ago, that he is a friend of the Russians. And every time Geert Wilders said, no, I'm not going to do that. When I need to do that, that would be a whole lot of work. And you can go on and on and on and on, which was actually sort of the point. But in another way, he was also making clear that he felt that he had done nothing wrong. Not that he said it in so many words, but it is more like that he feels that he played a different role than he is playing now, and that he needs to adapt to that, as he also needs to adapt his proposals to the Constitution, so it comes in line with the Constitution. But I'm afraid that Geert Wilders will need to accept that the majority of the chamber is in favor of supporting Ukraine. Another example might be the EU. Geert Wilders is not fond of the EU. And if it was just him, he would withdraw. But it is not just him, and not everybody or coalition party is willing to do that. But you can wonder what kind of role, when he becomes the prime minister, what kind of role he is going to play in the EU. And there is a lot between really stepping out of the EU or staying and supporting the EU as best you can. Peter Omtzigt, the leader of the NSC, would like to make an agreement, but not in detail. I told you about that bloc, that is the coalition having made agreements and because of that, they can't vote any different at certain bills. And he says that's not what I want. I would like more this discussion. I would like to give the chamber more space to do so. So he doesn't want to go too deep into details. I don't know how the others feel about that, but I'm sure it will be spoken of. As for the informateur, which is now the responsibility of the second chamber to appoint an informateur, that's what the debate is also about. That is going to be Ronald Plasterk again. He has been the scout, and now he is going to be the informateur and will help the coalition to, become a coalition. His mandate, by the way, is not that he needs to make a coalition out of those four parties. His mandate is that he needs to make a coalition. And whether that is these four parties or a completely different set of parties, that's to be seen. Plasterk himself has been a minister in two different cabinets, but is doing now something quite different. And as for that, he might have enough distance towards the politics and the politicians to play that role. So far, apparently, the whole second chamber liked how he has been performing as a scout. For Geert Wilders, the change he needs to make, and he made some mistakes in that he within the walls of het Binnenhof, which is where the first and second chamber are recited, that in het Binnenhof he changed his tone, but when he was outside the parliament, he could treat things the old way. So I think for him to change, it might be that he needs to walk on eggs, not to show what he actually really thinks. Because I do understand the amount of questions people have been asking him. For 17 years, at least, he has been throwing names around, have been offending people, and now suddenly he is reasonable. How are you going to be reasonable all the time? While his trademark is quite different. We need to see how that is going to. There was a lot of talk about not just Geert Wilders here in the Netherlands, how he is going to act, or within the chamber, but how is he going to act towards other world leaders within the EU? How is he going to do that? And can he do that for a period of at least 4 years? We will need to see. So I'm not that confident in it as well. I do think, though, that he feels that this is a different responsibility, and that if he wants to become prime minister, and he has said so today, then he really needs to change his attitude. He understands that. And though he has no regret of what he has been doing in the past, he feels that different responsibility needs a different personality. We just need to see whether he is able to do that. It is often said that Geert Wilders is the Trump of the Netherlands. Well, I think people are right when you talk about hair, weird hair, or at least it pops out, let me put it that way. And I think within the perspective of how he thinks, yes, I think there are quite some similarities between Trump and Geert Wilders. But as for a personality, he is quite different. He's a hard-working man. He knows his stuff, and he is a pretty good debater. And that is why I think he has created so many followers through the years. It is often about the man who is leading the party than the party itself. And when the man is no longer there, and we have seen it happening here in the Netherlands when the leader of a very brand new party, the LPF, was murdered before the elections took place. That party still won big. But 2 years later, yeah, I don't know how many years later, but they never really returned. Yes, with a few persons, but not as big as they have been. Geert Wilders, of course, is not new. He has been in the chamber for 17 years, so that makes a big difference. He knows what he called himself the Nestor. He knows what is going around. At the end of the debate, there was something weird going on. The chair of the second chamber needed to look it up because it is what happened is not normal when there isn't a new cabinet. But a law has been passed. The second chamber is now lying in the first chamber. That is a law where asylum seekers are more not living just on the borders, but would be spread more over the whole of the Netherlands. And so far, that only could take place when the government was asked nicely, and the mayor said yes. This law is going to make sure that it happens. So there is more of a you can't say no. That is now in the first chamber. So it only needs to pass there to make it work. But in the light of a coalition which is already going to change the laws when it comes to asylum seekers, the four parties are asking to let it be for now. Since the leader of the VVD is the one, Jezilgus, is the one who came forward with it. And somebody in the second chamber responded like, okay, and tomorrow we have a meeting with the ministers, and then you are going to talk about and vote when there are votes, but to talk about something you have been responsible for as the minister you are now. And now you say, okay, let's not do that. And you're still the same person in that cabinet that is still there because we don't have a new cabinet. It is a bit weird, but at the same time, it shows to me that the four parties are already sort of growing together and get used to the idea of being in a coalition with the four of them, and that at least when it comes to immigration, that they can find each other. And if they can find each other, it actually doesn't matter whether they are in the same coalition. They can do that in a different way as well. But still, it feels to me like, okay, you are going fast, you know? And it feels like she has, and all the four who has been, all the four parties are pretty confident about themselves and about forming a coalition. Well, that's it for now. It's too late to. I notice that the button who can give you English subtitles is not working on my video. So I need to translate a few things, and I'm going to do that tomorrow. And I hope that I can show you some pieces of the debate that has taken place. But it is too late now. I just wanted to let you know what happened today, and it is too late for me now to work on it because it is quite a bit of work to do that. Okay, so this was it for me. I hope you enjoyed this update and found it informative, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.